Hello kids, a very warm welcome to Physics Wala Design and Architecture. This podcast is going to be a very important one for you. Now the question is why? In this podcast, we have someone with us who has been there in the industry for around 16 plus years. So she knows the industry inside out. So without wasting any time, let's move to ma'am. So ma'am, can you just give a bit introduction about yourself?
Yeah, so I have been in design field. I graduated from NIFT, apparel designer. I started from scratch even after being in the NIFT, been trained to start from scratch. So I've been working in the industry since last 16 years now. Have seen the phase of working for a startup, then moving on to big designers, then moving on to launch my own business, and then again moving on to work for the industry.
Okay, so the basic question is, ma'am, why designing? Why did you choose designing?
See, design field to be chosen has to come from inside. It has always been predestined for you. I used to feel creative. I knew I was creative when it regards to how I dress up, what am I wearing. I used to actually advise my elder sister how should she dress up. But that was very intuitive at that point of time. There was no formal training how to do it. So when I was in 11th, our school used to have that format of offering us to let our interest show up in case we are interested in arts, in design. So that's how I was guided in the school itself. So in case you're interested, come for the coaching, start preparing yourself. So that's how I came to know that I am interested in this field. I am formally made for this field. I am creative enough and I would love to be in this field. That's how we were guided. So that's why design used to be very intuitively from my childhood itself. So that's how I observed it interested me.
But ma'am, as you see, were your parents supportive in this?
See, my parents were like any other family that you see, and they do not think this is in itself a career only. So I was advised not to opt for this as a career. Maybe as a hobby I could opt for it, but you have to fight for it. At our times, we used to actually had to fight to choose this as our career option because it wasn't considered a stable one.
True.
An engineering or a doctorate. I was in fact made to go through doctorate also. I got admission also in a medical college and I quit that college to stand up for what I really wanted to become.
That must be a fight, ma'am.
That was a huge fight.
Okay. So what message would you like to give parents for the students who are going through the same thing, who are convincing their parents for the same field?
See, now the times have tilted a lot. Now the times are of creative fields. Now even parents are convinced about creative fields, either it being sports or it being a creative field like being a designer. Half convincing they have already got from the world which is recovering through engineer phase. But still an advice to parents, you are the only one who are the first ones to know what your kid is made for. Please observe that. If a kid is more creative than being technically sound or maybe interested in regular fields, know your child enough because at one point of time they are going to opt for what they want.
That is very true.
Let them start early. Help them start early.
बट मैम इसमें ना मुद्रा भी बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट होती है, राइट? क्योंकि पेरेंट्स के दिमाग में अभी तक ये होता है कि डिज़ाइनर बनकर आप इतना मतलब यू वोंट बी एबल टू अर्न दैट मच, राइट? दैट इज ऑल्सो अ फैक्टर. सो यू आर फ्रॉम दैट इंडस्ट्री, राइट? एंड यू हैव एन एक्सपीरियंस. सो हाउ इज दैट थिंग इन द इंडस्ट्री? हाउ मच minimum or the maximum a designer can earn?
See, while earning is concerned, being a designer or being related to design field can let you earn at par with what any other field like being a doctor or being an engineer can make you earn. So it's like around 60 lakhs to 1 CR per year is an easy target when you're working for a design field. The society all over the world are actually valuing the creative work and a person is doing. For example, after the manual design thing, an AI angle has been added to whole sphere of this design. it is helping designers or people in design field to actually double or triple their packages, their earning potentials in a year. So now you've got much more chances to earn far better than any other field than the design field. So being in design field is totally a valuable asset now.
Okay. So now, as you talked about AI, right? So let's talk about AI only.
Yes.
So what do you think, AI is a threat or it is going to build our career as a designer?
See, AI as a perception is an expansion of your own mind.
True.
Yeah?
Yes.
You can make AI work for you the way your mind would have worked for you. So it's just an extension. AI is definitely going to help. It's going to make it a bit easier, but it's working as your mind is working. So I've observed people considering this as a threat also. But in my opinion, I have seen people working with AI and doubling their potential or the speed that they're working with. So if I am giving a prompt to an AI machinery, it is what I am giving. Jitna mera mind, the kind of expansion my mind has, it's just an extension of that only. That's how AI prompts have become another field of working only. So AI is definitely going to help to fasten up the speed of designs or the speed of working that we have in this field.
Talking about the same thing, have you seen the Ghibli, or it is pronounced as Ghibli trend now, right?
Yes.
So people are saying that AI has taken the work of the artist who has worked in the industry or who has given the life of his own to this studio, right? So what are your thoughts about that?
See, I truly believe the perception is right. AI has actually taken off the hard work that the designers were doing, and it has just taken credit to itself. But I believe somewhere down the line, the artists who were working on it, they knew AI would come up and it can replicate or duplicate the kind of work they are doing. AI is going to do that. So as per my advice is, every design person who's working towards something, please keep in mind that AI has to be taken along with the manual work they're doing. If this collaboration they would have done much earlier with some AI agents or agency, this would have been a collaborative effort rather than denying that AI doesn't exist and it cannot do anything. It can replicate and duplicate. Take it with yourself.
So it can replicate and duplicate, but it cannot create something of its own.
Exactly.
Right? So yes, you are a designer, you have creative mind, so use that. AI से threat नहीं है, वो आपका काम duplicate करेगा, replicate करेगा, as ma'am said. So you can make it as your friend, but don't be a designer who just copies from AI.
Yes, because you are the creator, and you have the power to create something which AI might never do. So that is the power every humankind would still have. They have the power to create. AI can only be an extension, a friend or foe, depends on how you perceive it.
Okay. Ma'am, so when I was in college or now as well, I face a lot of creative blocks, right? Because we are someone, हमारे लिए 2+2 4 का इक्वेशन हम नहीं यूज करते हैं कि हम जो है मैथ्स का ये इक्वेशन लगा दें एंड एवरीथिंग इज सॉल्व्ड एंड वी हैव समथिंग न्यू, राइट? सो वी हैव टू क्रिएट समथिंग, वो एकदम आइडिया आना चाहिए एंड वी फेस अ लॉट ऑफ क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक्स. So we have the students who are going through the same thing. So what advice would you give to overcome that feeling?
Right. So the first advice I would say, first thing I always suggest is make a good alignment of this and this. Let yourself be free. I have seen people having loads of ideas but aren't able to work on one because they do not know what are they aligned with. Know the real thing that you like, right? Go to the history, go to backgrounds, go read books that have histories in them, and then you'll get to know. Do not copy that. Just let it inspire you. You should know what inspires you, what kind of styling inspires you, and then which mentor you would want for yourself. Find a mentor. You know, at times in college we used to think Roberto Cavalli is our mentor. He is the one. But are you even aligning with him? Are you aligning with the thought process, the kind of designs he's doing? We used to think there are phases. You know, earlier we used to like Roberto Cavalli. He's the inspiration. We like what he's creating. Then going to the history and seeing what patterns do I like for my own self. This is my inspo. And then in phases, we realized it is not Roberto Cavalli. We are not aligning with his design sense. It is Manish Malhotra that is inspiring us more.
True.
So you go through that phases. Let yourself go through that phase. Do not assume you will get everything in one go. So align yourself with what you like and then find inspiration. Third step is to find a mentor. And fourth step is to execute.
What is all there? Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
That is the major step. Start executing.
So, whatever data you have, you just don't have to procrastinate every time. Start working, right, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. So let's address the students who are the freshers who have just come out from the college and they want to enter this industry and they are facing a lot of challenges. How they should enter the industry? What is the right approach for that?
Superb, because that is one thing every college student faces. You do not know, you like going to an apparel designer, you like going to should you go to an export house, should you go to a buying house? That is a major choice to make. I would say consult people in the industry before you move out of your college.
Okay.
It is always great to know the insights of what's going on in the industry and what kind of environment would you see yourself in. You know, an export house would have a totally different environment and profiling as compared to a design house.
True.
A basic designer house would require different hours of working, different kind of working place and culture. So see where you align yourself with. That one-on-one talk with someone in the industry is what I always advise to college students before deciding on that yes, I heard this is good and this is what I'm going towards.
So how people can find the people from the industry, or how students can find such people from the industry, how they can connect with them?
Very beautifully, there are websites nowadays who are actually helping you find mentors from the industry, working in the industry nowadays. So I am here, I'm trying not to name some, but there are particular websites who are helping connect students with industry. Take that help. Research which are those websites. They are very few, but they are very popular now.
Okay, so here as mentioned, networking from the college itself or from the time when you are there in the college is very very important to build a career. यहाँ पर ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एकदम से कॉलेज से निकलेंगे, हो सकता है कि you will find a job, हो सकता है कि you have to work hard, but यहाँ पर the process has to be followed. Networking is very important, right? How do you manage the work life, or how do you balance your work life?
See, it's a very interesting concept going on nowadays. Balance your work life with your personal life. But in contrast, I would like to suggest students and people who have just initiated working in industry, do not focus in creating that balance. Work. Give your 200% to that work you're doing. Make it as personal as you can. Do not just let it be a professional thing. Make it personal since you've just initiated. Learn, get yourself, work for it 200%, go deep into it, go to the core and understand the basic aesthetics of what you're working for. I see this line or the concept of work-life balance being executed in the initial years of when you're working.
True.
And what happens is it just doesn't let you get the right exposure. You know, you're trying to balance things out and then you're half working and half trying to balance your personal life. Do not do that. Go to the core of it. The genre of workaholics, the genre of people who used to go to the core of something that they're doing is finishing off. Maintain that. In first 5 to 8 years, work your level best, give your 400% in case you can, and then apne aap hi the things would go towards making a good personal life with work. So this is my suggestion.
सो यहाँ पे वी हैव सीन कि बहुत ही टॉक्सिक वर्क कल्चर है या फिर बहुत ज़्यादा काम करवाया जा रहा है. इनिशियली आप किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में जाएंगे द सेम थिंग विल हैपन. इट इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू बी टॉक्सिक, इट इज़ हाउ यू आर देयर विद द पीपल and how you are taking the creative criticism what they are giving, right? So initially हर इंडस्ट्री में they will make you work और वो ही आपका काम जो है आपके लिए एक नींव की तरह रखा जाएगा. अब मैम we require portfolios, right? Every designer or every aspiring designer should have a portfolio. So according to you, what a good portfolio should contain?
Superb. So a good portfolio that a design company is expecting should have technically strong portfolio.
Okay.
Right? So when we talk of technically strong portfolio, you're doing good illustrations, you're trying to present your design, great. But know how is it going to functionally sit or fit in the industry, fit in the functional designs that a designer is trying to sell to people. So what is the actual requirement of people who is buying from that designer? In case you're going to a designer, know that core and then make technically strong designs with actual detailings, with actual cost prices that the designer is going to incur for those designs. If I am the owner of a design company and if I get such a portfolio where the student knows what I am serving to people, what is my design aesthetic, how am I going to balance the cost and MRP ratio, through that portfolio, I'll be the fastest one to have you over as fast as possible.
So that's an insight. So you should know the technicality, you should know where you are going, and you should know about the company as well in which you are applying.
Yes,
right?
yes. You should believe in their aesthetics, believe in their design sense, and then apply for it.
Ma'am, today we have seen such students as well who are just going after the name of some college, right, for the degree, because it sounds cool that we are designer. So how you suggest that how a person or how a student can know about the inner calling कि मुझे डिज़ाइनर बनना है, how they can see कि ठीक है मैं डिज़ाइनर बनना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि इसमें बच्चा बहुत कंफ्यूज रहता है, स्पेशली 10th 11th के टाइम पर बहुत कंफ्यूज रहता है, क्योंकि ऐसे भी होता है कि हाँ मैं घर पे ऐसे तोड़ मरोड़ के जुगाड़ करके चीज़ें कर देता हूँ. So how they can know that they want to be a designer or they should go in the designing field?
See, if a creative person is feeling towards going to a design field, they're already in it. Yeah? That intuition can never be wrong. If you are feeling towards it, you're already into it, go for it. Prepare for it. Prepare well for it. When it's about design colleges, without naming, we know the highest standards of design colleges that exist. Prepare for them. I would never say do not, you can be good without them also. They are good ones. They'll give you a good perspective. But know that there is just 1% of difference between the students who are coming out of those colleges and students who are coming off some not that popular kind of a college. College name doesn't matter. You preparing for that high standard of college matters. Because you're preparing for it, you're creating that mindset. Where do you want to be there after some years? How do you want to achieve things? Just because you're preparing for it, you're creating that mindset which matters a lot. College doesn't matter that much. It'll give you a perspective, and then market me when you're passing out of your college, you're landing up to find jobs or you've already found a job. किसी भी design company में या industry में आने के बाद, you are at par with the students of any college, because all of the students that come out of college are almost on a zero platform. So realize this is not about college. This is about how you can create a valuable mindset. If you are able to create that even without being in a popular college, you're good at it.
Right.
Yeah. So that is
The mantra.
exactly. That is the mantra. Know that before you enter any college. If you know that, you're already halfway.
Ma'am, so how a student should approach a failure or a criticism? और a designer as well. क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री में मुझे लगता है कि आपके प्रोजेक्ट्स ऐसे ही रिजेक्ट होते हैं और एग्जाम्स में भी अभी आई हैव सीन देयर वर स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव प्रिपेयर्ड, ठीक है, और किसी ना किसी वजह से उनका नहीं हो पाया है, सो नाउ दे आर डिसहार्टेंड. सो अब ये फेलियर तो नहीं बोलना चाहिए, ये एक स्टेप जो है या फिर आपका क्रिटिसिज्म, हाउ दे शुड टेक इट एंड हाउ दे शुड अप्रोच फर्दर फॉर दैट.
See, when it's about criticism or project denials or failures, any design field or any field in fact, you'll have to cross that phase. Understand it is a phase that you have to cross. Without crossing that, you cannot sustain as an established person in the industry. So if you start accepting it as just a phase, you'll know there are improvements coming in, there are much more success coming in. But without crossing this, you cannot be a maturely independent professional who has learnt it all. Number one thing is consider it just a phase. Number two, when it's about failure, so in case your project is just completely being denied, know that it is an idea. It is your idea who could not be perceived well by the one who's judging. So he's not going to be judged forever. It is your perception which could not be perceived by the judge abhi, at the moment. This is just momentary. You will have different judges when you move out of college, move out of the jobs, you hop the jobs. The several kind of judges are going to be there. Stand for your perception. Make a good one first and then learn to stand for it.
Okay.
To explain it well. If you are perceiving it really well, you should be skilled enough for the other person to perceive it well too. Communicate your perception, your idea well, and learn through it.
Okay, true. Ma'am, I receive this, or students ask this question a lot, that design is subjective. एक को अच्छा लग सकता है, दूसरा person might not like it, and this happens in the exam as well. Let's say a student is giving some answer और उस बच्चे के हिसाब से वो आंसर एकदम ठीक था, right? And as designer we also face the same thing.
Yeah.
कि हमें अच्छा लग रहा है, मे बी हमारे क्लाइंट को अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. So how they should decide कि this design is a good design and they can proceed with this one?
Very beautiful question. Everyone faces it. Almost everyone. See, understand one thing always. If you are creating design for someone, know the audience well. If you know the audience well, you will provide superb value to the audience, right? If I know if I'm creating for a teacher, what is her expectation from the design that she wants out of me? If I know that very well, if I've researched it well, understood it well, she would love that.
True.
She would love the design for sure. Always, while working, know your audience well. It is the only way to give the accurate value. If you do not know that, you will go haywire.
So, user persona and your empathy, right? These two aspects play a very vital role when you are designing something creative, right? Okay, so very well said, and this is how you should proceed as well. Know your audience, know your customer to which you are serving. अगर ये आपको नहीं पता है तो आप डिज़ाइन जो भी बनाएंगे शायद से वो इतना यूज़र फ्रेंडली नहीं हो पाएगा. Lastly, ma'am, any message which you would like to give to the students?
Yes, take it as a passion. There will be storms throwing at you once you're out of college. There are things coming at you. They'll break you. They'll break you in several ways. Take it as a passion. Know the core purpose of being in this field. You know what happens when we start working or when we are in college also? Dheere we get so involved in the people, expectations, exams, this and that we forget why did we come into this field? What is our core purpose? Then you start working. You start working for a boss. He has his own expectations. Always know the core purpose you came in the design field for. You will love this field only if you remember it was your passion, it was your happiness that you entered this field for. People tend to forget that. People tend to just mix in the emotions, mix in the expectations that the industry has. But at the end of it, you have to remember this was your passion. This was your happiness at one point of time. And this is the core purpose you came into this field. To love creating. Don't stop that. Remember your core purpose and you will love being in it.
So very well said. Never ever forget why you are here. आपने कैसे शुरुआत करी थी, how passionate you were and how passionately you wanted to be in this thing. I hope you like the podcast क्योंकि आज हमें इंडस्ट्री के बारे में बहुत पता चला है. The insiders of the industry we came to know here. So with this, we are going to wind this podcast. If you have any questions, please do write it down in the comment section. We're gonna meet very, very soon. तब तक के लिए take care and keep designing.